Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Here with JR at JRC Visa Consultancy and Immigration Services again. And we've got some updates on some of the immigration issues. And so I'm going to turn it over to him. And then we're going to answer some questions that we've had come up recently also. So JR, take it away.
Hi, Rod. How are you? And it's good to see you right now. So to your subscribers, we hope that you're doing well. And it's almost the holiday season already. Christmas is fast approaching, and I think before that, I think the Thanksgiving is also approaching for Americans, I think.
Yeah.
So one of the latest update that we're gonna give you is the latest issuance of the Bureau of Immigration here in the Philippines, which is what we call the subject matter of that is the resumption of the face-to-face interview for the spousal visa. Now, this is a good reminder because this was actually dated November 10 or 10th of November 2023, and it's effective November 13, 2023. So how will it affect you? It is good to note that during the COVID time, pre-COVID, the basic requirement or the basic process of the visa, especially for the spousal visa, and after filing and doing your biometrics, there's what we call an interview, face-to-face interview, which is a validation of your marriage for the immigration officers or the in charge from the Bureau of Immigration to really establish the marriage in itself. So before that, that's pre-COVID. Now, when COVID came up between 2022 and part of 2023, and it was substituted with a document, which is actually an interview paper back to back. The front page is actually for questions being addressed to the husband, and also the back page is a set of questions being addressed to the wife. Now, it is clearly stated in the memorandum, in which I'll be giving also a copy with Rod to be attached on this particular content, so that you'll have a reference, and it is already signed by the Bureau of Immigration Commissioner, Mr. Norman Tansinco. So, for those who are actually still in the process of completing their paperwork, kindly prepare, because this will be a good information for you to really manage expectations, especially if you're already expecting that the interview paper is still applicable. For those who already filed and do the biometrics, so there might be possibility that the immigration office who have accepted your application, not only in the main office but the district offices, because they're allowed to receive your application and evaluate, and also with other offices that are immigration offices across the Philippines that accepted that spousal visa application. Please do set your mind that anytime you'll be called by your representative if you engage with a private firm or agency like us, and also if you done it by yourself, then probably you will receive a call from the immigration office that, hey, you need to show up in their office for the face-to-face interview. Now, that is one. We are also trying to we're also trying to give updates from time to time, like based on the circumstances that we have actually encountered. Now, recently we have encountered a situation wherein a specific application, I'll just not mention the actual visa, but it's a permanent visa here in the Philippines that is issued by the Bureau of Immigration. The applicant applied for the visa sometime July, and upon application of the visa, they submitted the paperwork, and the visa got approved sometime between 3rd week of October. Now, 3rd week of October, it was already approved and it was already implemented. After the implemented, he has actually encountered a problem right now because he's trying to fly out of the country he is trying to fly out of the Philippines, going to for a specific reason. Now, the problem is he just did his biometrics. Now, the biometrics of a specific visa application is very important because that data that will be captured by the Bureau of Immigration for your fingerprints, your actual picture, your e-signature on their system, that will be the data that they will be using for the issuance of your ACRI card. Now, that's where the problem is. Because the ACRI card should be one of your documents that you have a permanent residency visa in the Philippines or other special visas being granted to you. So technically, upon entry and exit in the Philippine Immigration or the airports, you need to show two basic things. Basic. They could actually ask you additional documents, but the basic things that you should have is your passport with the visa stamp. So if you have an old passport, there might be an instance that you need to bring your old and new passport for you to signify that you have a permanent residency or you have been granted a visa here in the Philippines. Now, second, you need to have your ACRI card. That is very important because your ACRI card, in layman's term, as I had mentioned it on our previous videos with Rod, that is your identification of your visa that has been granted to you. So those are the things that we are trying to come up really on our subsequent videos, so that you will be aware of what are the basic things that you need to have, especially upon entering and exiting the Philippines and passing through the borders in the Philippines through our immigration officers.
And the ACR card, that would be a problem if it's taking 1-2 months to get your ACR card.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have your ACR card, but
Sure.
you will have paper documentation.
Mm-hmm.
That would suffice, I would presume.
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
you have the receipt that it's in the process.
That's a good question. I think I came across with that because that particular paper is just a claim slip. So it wouldn't actually suffice for you to have for you to go out of the country by just presenting that to the Bureau of Immigration. Instead, there are options that you can take in terms of having the ACRI card waiver, just in case that you project to go out of the country. Upon exiting the country, your ACRI card is still valid. And upon going back, because you really need to have some important matters, you need to have the ACR waiver. And also, there will be other instances that re-entry permit will also be applicable. So those are the things that you can actually option. But however, I would personally encourage you to really plan out your trip, especially on that matter of the issuance of the ACRI card, because the permanent residency here in the Philippines or your visa documents should have that ACRI card, or the special visas, it should have their respective ID cards, such as for the retirement visa, that would be the PRA ID card. So that's more or less equivalent to the ACRI card because it is a special visa being handled by the special office mandated by the Philippine government.
And then I've had the question by a number of people that they are out of the country when they're out of the country and their ACR card expires and they come back in the country. And I've had a couple people say they had issues at the airport entering again with an expired ACR card. And I think a lot of people don't have any issues, but it can happen, something that can happen.
Yeah, it can happen. That's the reason why we highly encourage everyone really to take a look at the visa application process. If you wanted to go through, like for example, the 13A, it comes with probationary valid for 12 months, and here comes the amendment of probationary to permanent. The processing would take at least 4 to 6 months, and it covers visa approval, implementation of the approved visa, and also the issuance of the ACRI card. Those 3 elements should be accomplished. Now, how to make it faster? You have one option. You have option on the table to actually process it in Manila. That is your option. Processing it outside the main office might vary based on the location, because for one, that receiving office or the district immigration office need to review your application before they send that to Manila. When you send it to Manila, they have the review, and then after they have the approval. On the district office, outside the main office, they still need to have that reviewed, and also you need to consider also the volume of the applications that they're receiving regularly.
Okay. And you have a Manila office now, so you can process things directly through the Manila office.
Yes.
This is another reason why you might want to use a visa agency like JRC, because all just these issues we're talking about right now, it gets a little more complicated than just I want to leave the country, so I'm going to leave the country. Depending upon your status with your ACR card and a number of other types of things. I can do all this stuff myself. Chances are I'm going to forget something. I'm going to not do something.
Yeah.
I can, as I've said before, I can work on my car to a degree. I can do some carpentry work, but I can do my visa stuff. But I would rather pay a professional to do it.
I also share the same sentiment when we have our trips earlier. So we also have that mentality that, okay, let's try this. We can do this. It's easy. And also, by the second time that we also process our visa going to other country, so we make it the point that the convenience actually values a lot, especially our time. And for those who are actually having time, you always have the privilege of doing that. However, the factor of the cultural differences will play a big role right now. How well did you already adopt the culture in the Philippines? Because on a recent travel, I already experienced being a foreigner into another country. So it made me realize that the difference right now of how people do things is highly attributable to the culture itself. So have you embraced or adopt the culture here in the Philippines? Because bringing the Western culture here may be or may be not applicable here in the Philippines, but things are really different here. Infrastructure itself, once you landed in the airport, you cannot expect the same as your country of origin. So just like the taxi is different, way different here. So it differs on the culture right now. So as what mentioned by Rod earlier, that we do have a Manila office. So we do have offices also outside Manila. And we always ask our client, okay, here are the options that you can get. Are you staying here for good? Do you have any flights up ahead? So once you actually determine that, then we will also draw up options for you, especially now, because if the face-to-face interview will be put in place, which is already did because it's effective November 13, 2023, as per the instruction of our Honorable Commissioner from the Bureau, Mr. Tansinko. So you need really to fly out from going to Manila. However, the other steps in terms of preparing the paperwork, filing it on your behalf, doing the biometrics, and not doing them. However, the other things like filing the paperwork, processing it on your behalf, and other stuff like along the process that we can do. For the face-to-face, we would highly advise you that you need to be there. But if you want really to not process it there because it's faster, and you will say to us that you have a lot of time, then you can actually process it in the district offices. So as long as our expectations are clear and you're here really to explain, that is also my direction to the team. So just make it simple. Let them understand if they will be frustrated on some hiccups along the way, and there are challenges along the way that might pop up, and we're here to let you understand that process also.
Yeah, I think I had an email recently by somebody, and they had overstayed their visa, and they were trying to file on their own. They were trying to file a motion for reconsideration, and he said, I don't know if I'm being scammed or what, but I think he went to the local, maybe the Cebu office, immigration, and they told him it was going to take, and I forget the amount of time, 4 months something. And he said he knew somebody who knew somebody in Manila, and they asked the Manila office, and they gave him a completely different, much shorter time period. So that might be what happened.
Sure.
The regional office, you have district offices, and you have regional offices, and you have the main office. So if you deal with main office in Manila, you're taking all these other steps out of the deal, right? So I don't think he's getting scammed. It's just that it's got to go through that extra process,
Yes.
starting at a district office.
Mhm.
And
Especially right now, just to add, the filing of the motion for reconsideration is centralized as of the moment. So only Manila office in the Bureau of Immigration Intramuros is the one that can receive and process the motion for reconsideration. So the motion for reconsideration is not just like a plain form that you need to fill out. It also comes with your explanation. It comes with your affidavit. It comes with your story. Why have you been overstayed? And that particular document will be reviewed by not just a regular personnel in the Bureau of Immigration. It will go through the immigration officers, wherein most of the immigration officers or the reviewing officers are lawyers. And that's the reason why we have actually we have the support of our in-house attorneys in place for us to really fine-tune what is your story, because by just reading the document right now, a lawyer could tell that it's prepared by a lawyer, right? So that's already a big impact, because the reviewing party right now is a lawyer, and all throughout the process they're gonna do a derogatory check. It will not just go there instantly. So before it will land to the office of the commissioner for final approval, they already have the endorsement of the immigration officers, which the immigration officers are most of the time, or most of all, are lawyers, and they have actually reviewed that on their respective offices before they forward that for final approval of the Bureau of Immigration Commission.
yeah, you guys know the system, you know the language, they know you. I come in, I can write up a story, and I think it's a really good story.
Please do.
But I've told this story before too. My father, when I was young in high school, I think he was on the county board. Instead of barangays, they've got counties, county board supervisors, and they were trying to get some road project on a gravel road paved or something, and they had tried to get a government grant, federal government grant, to get this thing done, and kept failing, and he's not one to spend money. But they finally hired a consultant, like you, who knew how to fill out the forms, and first time went through, they got their funding.
Yes.
So same thing, you guys know what they're looking for and what they don't want to see, and you can help these guys. And I've seen you guys expedite, you guys that really had some problems, and they get partway through the process and they get frustrated and start arguing with the authorities, which you don't want to do.
Yeah, please do. I will expound.
I've seen you guys be able to pull it out of the fire and expedite, and even just expedite, get things done quicker. I've seen you take guys into the medical and the NBI and get all that stuff done in a matter of hours, where if you do it yourself, it might take, one guy told me it took him like 3 or 4 days to do the same thing.
Yeah, because they need to book the appointment of the doctor, they need to get the set of laboratory tests, they need to claim the results and all those and so forth. But I would like also to expound on what you have mentioned in terms of arguing the authorities. I'm not saying that there would be an autocratic way of doing things here in the Philippines, but sometimes it's already a normal norms that other perceptions of other foreigners going to the Philippines, that there might be like cultures that they can actually like bring here. So there's really a difference in the culture right now. Be reminded that if you have been issued with a permanent visa or any visa in the Philippines, that comes with a definition that it is a privilege given by the Philippine government to the applicant. So the mere assumption with that is there should be a mere respect of these foreign travelers going to the Philippines or foreigners going to the country, because I think that the Bureau of Immigration is really serious as of the moment. I think the latest one is because of that e-travel, if I mention, if I can actually have that as an example, because by just filling up the e-travel might be too easy, or probably it's something that we actually take for granted, because other forums or other expat groups are saying, hey, when I arrive the Philippines, they are not looking for it, and it will be too lenient for you, and when you actually bump in the situation wherein it is asked from you, and probably you're not having a bad day because you have a not so good flight, and you actually burst, and that will not be a good position in your place. So just be patient. Anyway, based on my recent travel experience, if you don't have that, there will be someone in the airport. I might be biased because I'm actually exiting and entering the Cebu airport right now, but as far as I would like to comment also with our airports right now here in the Philippines, because they actually put an in charge, and before you go to the immigration counters, they're gonna ask you, do you have the e-travel? I think in Mactan, if I recall it right, they have 3 or 4 PCs, personal computers, that you can actually do your e-travel. So if they ask you, just comply. It is an electronic version of the arrival card. It just states what's your purpose here in the Philippines, where are you staying, what is your flight, those basic documents. It might be many in terms of rows, but those are basic documents that you can actually fill out easily.
Yeah, I've had several people comment that it goes both ways. Some people are asked for it, some people are not asked for it. One person even told me they were asked for it before they got on their initial flight.
True.
Somebody with some airline,
True.
checked to see if they had it before coming here. So, yeah, I did a video recently about the American who got blacklisted.
True. Yeah, as simple as not simple, but as basic as being undesirable alien, which has a lot of grounds by you not actually paying respect to authority. That being undesirable alien is already a grounds for deportation, and once you are deported in the Philippines, then you are automatically be blacklisted. You will be barred of entering the country again. So if you really have the remorse on it, and then you have the intention, then it will actually be a lot of work to do to have that one lifted. But then again, we would not like to see that situation being we would not like to see that situation to our foreign friends coming to the country, because you have reasons to come here, and we are actually inviting you to be here as per as the mandate right now of the Department of Tourism, which is love the Philippines. So before you can actually love someone, just embrace the culture. It might be different, it might take time, but at least you adopting on it would be giving you a peace of mind of your stay here in the Philippines. So I think that would be a good preposition or mindset upon coming here. Like, the government also is doing something to make it efficient and easy.
All right, and there are there are chances that they're going to make it easier. They're going to put more incentives in place in the future as well, the coming year or something. But we'll have to wait and see. We don't have any word on that yet. I get asked regularly about, are they going to change the rules? Are they going to change the visas?
For the rules, I would suggest there might be speculations roaming around, but when I talk to one of our attorneys regarding the process of putting a law in progress, so it will still be a long process, and it would also differ on which Congress was it filed, and it should be approved on that particular Congress, meaning the term of this government officials that being hired. If it will not be passed and approved in that time, there might be possibility that it will be passed again as another bill to the next Congress. And don't speculate it yet, because if it will be approved, then it will be given ample time for it to be implemented. There's no such thing as abrupt change in the Philippines right now, but however, I can see that there are there are already improvements of the terminals. So I think there are already Filipinos that you just need to scan, just like I think Singapore, Korea, and you just need to scan. I have that one applicable yet for Filipinos. They scan and they go there. They don't need to see really natural person, immigration officer. So after that, they go. So that will make it more efficient. But what is the thing right now is the infrastructure of the Philippines always been adapting to the volume of foreigners that is coming over to the Philippines.
I have noticed, well, we are in the high season, November, December,
Yes.
January, And I have noticed a lot more foreigners here, so
Yeah.
there are a lot more tourists coming in,
Mhm.
which is a good sign.
Good.
Right. One other thing,
Yeah.
JRC doesn't just do handle all the visas, the marriage visa, the retirement visa, the investment visas, and a lot more than that. I didn't know there were so many visas.
There are.
But yeah, work visas, and but you also have your real estate broker
Yes.
and appraiser. So you are, in fact, we're going to go and do some real estate videos today.
Yes.
So yeah, if you're looking to sell or buy property or rent something, you can contact these people.
Yeah.
And that's a growing part of your business. You do some business consulting. You've got a couple lawyers and accountant on staff who have experience with business startups
Yeah.
and all the details on regulatory stuff, that type of thing.
Yeah, because one of our lawyers is also an accountant, certified public accountant. So, in terms of the business side of it, if there will be a general, what you call that? Excuse me. If there will be a general consultation, then we can actually have it on schedule also. Because a part of that, when you want to really set up the business here in the Philippines, you need to really understand what are your obligations thereafter once you set up your business, especially the corporation, what are the implications, what is the single proprietorship. And also going back, speaking of the investment, I think we're forming part of our initial discussion. If you are actually looking for the investor's visa or the investment that is correlated to any visa, one thing nearer to that is actually the special investor's visa. Special investors residence visa under the mandate or the supervision of the Board of Investments. So that is a special visa being not pioneered but being managed under the BOI, not directly with the Bureau of Immigration. So it will require you to put in 75,000 US dollars. If you will put that into a government bank in which you will open, that's only in Manila. That's DBP. And then once you have that, you will actually be required by the BOI or office who manage that particular visa for it to be invested based on their listed companies. So it's more on the stocks investment. But if you're gonna set up a company here because you wanted to establish like a sports bar, you're a sports minded, you came from prominent clubs before, football, soccer, basketball, in which it will be a draw up crowd also to mingle with other foreigners, and that would be a different story because you need really to set up a different firm for that. It will not be applicable into the investor's visa. For that particular aspect, that does not require any age, as long as you're of legal age already, or minimum requirement of the age, such as the retirement visa, because the retirement visa comes with a minimum age requirement, which is 50 years old and above. We will be giving you updates along the way if we will be encountering if we will be encountering new updates and also new circumstances. We will be making another content for you to for us to share it to you and for you to guide it. You will never know. You'll be encountering that particular situation, and at least you know how to initially troubleshoot. But however, we're here to help you out. We have offices in Cebu, Manila, especially those are the prominent big cities in the Philippines. And do let us know. I think Rod will also put our contact details below, and also we'll give you a copy. We'll give you a link or a copy of that particular advisory from the Bureau of Immigration, so that you will be properly guided. So just be here, especially for those people who wanted to come here. If it's cold in your place, it's warm here. And spend the holidays here. If you have loved ones here and you wanted to have a new place to stay. And also remember that when you're here in the Philippines, don't be stuck on one place. Move around. I would encourage you to move around. Don't settle yet. Try to get a taste of everything. So feel the vibe of that particular place. Maybe it's not you, or maybe it's not applicable for you. So we just wanted you to have peaceful and good living here in the Philippines, especially that you consider the Philippines as your next place of destination from your country of origin, and we do appreciate that, alongside with Rod also. So thank you, and we'll be seeing you next on Rod's next video.
Right, very good. Thanks.